Welcome to Villa Park, Illinois, and right behind me is their historical museum, and I'm right next to downtown. I'll tell you more about Villa Park, about the home prices, how is it to live here, and I'll show you a little bit around the town. So Villa Park, Illinois is an older town, very nice. Actually, one thing I want to show you, this is the old station, which was redone. That was a railroad, and that was redone into a prairie path. And this is the same prairie path that goes through Elmhurst, Berkeley, and goes all the way 30 some miles. And I've heard they're planning on adding another 9 miles or something like that. I'm not sure, but we are basically in downtown. You can see the old industrial buildings. They were converted to condos. Very good location. Population is 22,000 people. As far as ethnicities who lives here, it's a little bit over 60% white, 24% Hispanic Latino, 6% Black, 6% Asian, and a few other percent of mixed other races. So this is how it looks. As you can see, a lot of older buildings. Medium home sales price or value in Villa Park, Illinois is about $340,000. Now that's a medium, keep in mind, that's a little weird number. I'll just tell you as a real estate agent, typically homes sell for around $400,000. So I'd say anywhere between $300,000 and $500,000 is what the typical price in Villa Park is, with some exceptions, of course. But generally speaking, yeah, about $400,000. 430 easy, where you get a very decent home, and the taxes are not bad. The yards are a little bigger than everywhere else, I would say, so that's a good thing. And Villa Park also has their own metro station, so if you need to commute to downtown Chicago, very easy, because it's here. And by the way, I looked up, the metro station here has 519 parking spaces. The reason I like this town a lot, because it's still located very close to all the major highways, and not only the major roads as well. It's very close to Elmhurst. It's still close to the O'Hare Airport if you need to travel a little bit. And there's a lot of new stuff going on. This has been built a while ago. It's called Ovaltine Court. Show you a little bit. There's a new apartment building coming up here. Show you how this looks like here. Very well taken care of town. Amenities, everything's here, literally everything. 22,000 population, you can imagine all kinds of stores. Whatever you need is basically here. If it's not here, again, it's 5 minutes away from here. This is how this complex looks. You can buy a townhouse here, condo. So it's one of those places where you can still see a lot of, actually this Villa Park, you can see a lot of historical buildings, especially downtown area. There's new stuff coming up as everywhere, but this kind of a kept it vibe. So again, if you're looking to move to Chicago, Villa Park is one of these places that are not very expensive. Everybody says Chicago's super expensive. Yes, it is. Some areas are for sure, but it's just not everywhere. A lot of places are actually decently priced. So $400,000 gets you a house. Taxes on a house for about $400,000 are going to be roughly about $8,500. So like total mortgage payment, like given for example you put just 3% down and buy a house for $400,000 with current rates, it's 2026 summer, and your payment's going to be about $600. It's going to depend on taxes and your credit situation, but yeah, it's going to be about $3,500, I would say, for a $400,000 home with a 3% down payment, which is roughly $12,000. So not that bad. And the street I am on is Villa, which is basically the center of town. Right there, that's St. Charles. There's a plaza here. Mike's, it's a butcher house. Some fitness place, Go Fit, Ace Hardware, you know, so you can find a lot of these little. And what's fun about it, there's still a lot of those small mom and pop shops around here. See the old coffee house. There's even a bookstore. Look at this. That you don't see very often nowadays. So definitely cool, you know, very good location. Very good location, I say. The reason I say this because it's still centrally located. As I was saying before, in the travel commute from here is really easy wherever you want to get to. Be in this downtown Chicago, south side Chicago, north side, or west suburbs if you want to keep going. It's going to be fairly quick and easy, roughly 40 minutes in all directions at the best, unless the traffic's real bad. I'm gonna walk up to like a residential area. I'm still on the main road, but as you can see right there behind me, not sure if I can zoom this in, not this direction, but there's a fish store, I mean a fish tank store, aquarium store. There's like a lot of those small places that you don't see anymore anywhere. But let me show you what the residential streets look like, so you get an idea, and they look pretty decent, I'll tell you that. Now, one of the good things about these videos on the channel, I'm gonna get some extra steps, because usually I don't really walk that much, you know. So you basically get in a car, you get out of the house, you get in a car, drive to the office, and you sit in the office, then you maybe drive to some showing, show some houses, but then you just park right next to them. So this is like really the only, well, except the walk with the kids. But yeah, it's a good exercise, I guess, at the same time. So it helps. All right, so now we're on Euclid Animal Hospital here on the corner. Auto Clinic. This is St. Charles Road, by the way, but this gets us to a, well, maybe not a very typical block, but I'll show you some houses, and this is how they're gonna basically look like all over, and they're gonna look all different because a lot of these homes are older. Actually, we had a big, I mean, this summer we had a lot of storms, but a few days ago we had another one. So there's a lot of branches all over the suburbs, I guess. But this is how it looks like. And yeah, these houses, you know, give or take, obviously some of them are rehabbed, some of them are not. But they run about $400,000, 4+, 430, 420, 440. Some are less, some are more. But it's quiet, you know. It's quiet. A lot of trees typically everywhere. Not on this side because I just got out of the main area, like more commercial area. But this is a typical look for Villa Park streets. Not all of them, of course. Some look totally different. But it's a good place to live, you know. Quiet. People mind their own business. People are friendly. And the reason I know, I'm in Villa Park very often. I have some friends here. Sold a good number of homes in Villa Park over the years. Sometimes I walk or drive by typically, and I'm like, oh yeah, I sold this house, I sold that one. After 17 years in business, oh, here is something that looks like a foreclosure. I'm gonna look it up later, see what's going on with this house. But yeah, if you're thinking Chicago, especially if you're moving out of the States, there's a lot of options. You know, I'm not a big fan of Chicago, and that's just because I'm maybe a little older at this point, and I don't care about all this traffic and all the bar scene and nightclubs. This is more quiet, more peaceful for sure. You know, buy a house like this, probably for, I don't know, I'm gonna guess 330,000, depending how it looks inside. see what's going on here. I think we're walking up to the prairie path, but I'm not entirely sure. Well, let's just see what it is. So yeah, just like I thought, this is prairie path. Again, you can see how it's a really nice, I am telling you, it's a really nice thing if you want to walk, jog, get on a bicycle, take the kids on a stroller, wherever, because this thing is really long. It's nice and quiet. Today is Sunday, around noon. You know, it sometimes, it never gets packed, you know, you're just gonna see some people. But it's a really nice path. So if you wanna be by the path and still kind of centrally located, what you have is Elmhurst, Berkeley, Villa Park, Lambert, and then you're going more west. Goes through a lot of towns, but definitely, I mean, if you like to move around and you're not a big fan of gyms, just want to be outside, that prairie path here is very decent. And it's long, you know. Let me show you the surface of the road. I apologize, it's a path, it's not a road, but as you can see, it's a compacted gravel with some sand, with some maybe cement, whatever it's called. That's how it looks. Yeah, many times you're gonna see those little pass-throughs to a street or somewhere else. There's some houses backing up. Oh, by the way, you can get a house backing up to the prairie path, put a gate like these people have, and you're out on the path, you know. Typically this path is gonna be all wooded, like you see here. So yeah, I would say if you're thinking about moving to Chicago suburbs, Villa Park is definitely a good place to be in, you know. And it's got this local vibe. It's got some sort of, I mean, it's got a good community, I would say. Doesn't feel, I mean, it's kind of a walkable, obviously depending where you live. But very nice place. And you know, $400,000, let's just say that's an average or a little bit over. But again, you can buy a house for $350, you know, and it's gonna be move-in ready. It's not gonna be super beautiful, but you can move in. There's condos, they're cheaper for sure. So think about it if you're moving. Typically, I say, it depends on people, because on the situation, depending on the situation you're in, you know, some people move from out of state and just buy a house right away, but they know they're gonna stay. Some people like to test the waters and maybe rent for a year, see how the area feels and check out the other areas. Not a bad thing to do, but if you know, or if you come in with kids and a whole family, you probably want to get situated with schools and all that stuff. You're not going to be moving all over the place back and forth. So anyhow, if your budget is about $400,000, Villa Park is going to be a good place to be in. Now obviously you can get something, look at these houses, they're all back up to Prairie Path. And you can buy something obviously for 600 here, for 700. You can get humongous lots, you know, they have them here. So I would definitely recommend this place, Villa Park. It's very solid. And again, you can use this path like I am right now for your daily walks. And you can do it twice a day, you know what I mean? So anyhow, if you need some assistance with buying a house here, let me know, shoot me a comment. You can shoot me a text message directly to my phone. I'll pin it in the first comment in the description. Before you buy a house, just a quick reminder, get a pre-approval so you know where you are. You know, a lot of people think they're all good and set, but you know, there's something sometimes on your credit history that are making you just not ready to buy a home. May not be a big problem, but sometimes needs to be fixed. If you need a local loan officer, which is helpful. Let me know, I can connect you with one. And actually, for that matter, with anybody in the industry, if you need an attorney, real estate attorney, inspectors. Obviously, I've been doing this for a long time. I know good people, and they're also really good at what they do, and they're trustworthy, with a good track record. So yeah, need any help buying or selling a house in this area here? I call this O'Hare area. That's what it feels to me like, because it's just close, somewhat close to O'Hare. It's not, this one, Villa Park, is not that close to O'Hare, but it's still probably about 15-20 minute drive, which I would say is not bad. Look at this. You know, these houses already have bigger yards, backyards, and they're inexpensive, you know. So it's actually possible to still live in Illinois, very close to Chicago. And you know what? Villa Park, Elmhurst, Bensonville, I mean, I kind of say it's just Chicago. You know, I live in Elmhurst, but generally speaking, if someone asks me where I live, I would say Chicago. But this is when I'm on vacation or just out of state, because obviously people out there would not know where Elmhurst is. But it really kind of this whole area here, it's just all connected, and you go from a town to town. There's no, you just pass from one to another, and basically you're in one place. You know what I mean? Just the name of the town changes, prices change, gas prices change, cigarette prices change depending on the county, but you're basically in the same location. So here we have police station. Some kind of a building here. Looks vacant. I don't know if it is or not. A gas station. Another gas station on the other corner. But again, see? Municipal building, Villa Park. That's another old building that stayed and should stay. All right, I'm back on some kind of a plaza. That's Jewel, so a grocery store. And you know what? It's gonna be all the info I'll give you about Villa Park for now. If you have specific questions, please ask in comments. Definitely, I would ask you to put a like on this video if you like it. Maybe even if you don't like it, make some kind of a comment. They say it helps the channel to grow, and there's only a few videos I've posted, and everybody's saying you gotta have like 30, 40 or 50 or 60 for like this YouTube algorithm to start like displaying or showing your videos to people. We'll see how it goes. Who cares? All right, have a nice rest of the day or night, or whatever, depending on what time you are watching it. Take care. Bye.